Hi everyone, today I'm doing a tag that I am so late to the game with, and this is the Truthful Youtuber tag. This tag was going around like 6 months ago, I think. It was started by Mel Thompson, and the reason why I never really jumped on this was because back then I didn't really receive like any PR and stuff like that, and a lot of the questions in this tag has to do with like how you deal with PR and like what your relationship with the brands are and like how you kind of maneuver all of that. So I didn't really feel like I was qualified to do this tag back then, but since then I've started receiving quite a bit of PR for, you know, my size, and I thought that it would be about time that I did this tag because I wanted to do this tag so badly when it first came out. So if you guys aren't already subscribed to Mel, I will of course link her down below in the description box so you can go check her out. But yeah, let's just jump into this tag because I haven't even looked at these questions until last time I saw someone do this tag, so I don't remember what these questions are all about. So let's just get started. So question number 1 is, have you ever received a product, tried it, didn't like it, and then decided not to review it? No, I have not, because I don't receive that many products and I always do my first impressions on camera. I never like try something out first and then I film with it. I will usually just like sit down and film with it, and then whatever happens, happens. And you guys know this, sometimes I end up not liking something and that really sucks, but that's the way it is. And you know what, like not everything works for everybody. Even if maybe the product itself is a good product, it might just not be suited for my style and the way that I like to do my makeup, and it's all personal preference, and a lot of the time things that I don't like other people are going to like anyway, so it doesn't matter if I give something a bad review. It just means that it's helpful for people who are like myself to see if I don't like something, so I don't really feel bad if I give someone a bad review. Like, I feel like brands should also be able to take constructive criticism, and if something is just not up to par, like it's good to let them know so that they can improve. And if that hurts their feelings, then that really sucks. But you know what? I also see it this way, like if a brand sends me something and I end up not liking it, why would I want to stay on their PR list anyway? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to want to play with and test out things that I don't think I'm going to like. So I don't know, it just doesn't really make sense to me to lie about that kind of stuff. I don't know. Question number 2. Product you use alone but don't show or use online. I don't really think I have any of those. I'm pretty clear in that I'm going to use what I have in my collection, even if it's like from a controversial brand or something that's a limited edition. I still use it, but I'm not always happy about it, but I'm also not going to hide it. Also, if I do use something and it's like a mascara or something, or I don't know, an eyeliner. Let's say I use like the Kat Von D eyeliner, like it's in my collection and I usually do my eyeliner off camera, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to list it in my description box. Like I always do that. And I can't really think of anything that I use off camera but not on camera. I would say maybe sometimes I use a lot of my single shadows off camera, just because when I am filming, which is like every time I do my makeup, I tend to always be reviewing something, and it's usually a palette. And when I'm reviewing a palette, I don't really feel like I can pull in like other things a lot of the time, because some people just don't really like that, and I get it. Like some people want to be able to recreate the looks that you do using the certain palettes because they have the same palette. So I would say single shadows, but this isn't really like a controversial answer. Question number 3 is, product you want but won't buy because you don't support the brand. The only thing that really comes to mind isn't even like a product, but I would say that if Kat Von D were to come out with something that I really wanted, I probably wouldn't buy it just because I might get a lot of backlash for it. And it's not necessarily because I don't support the brand, it's because I just don't want to deal with the drama, because I don't like drama. I don't want to get involved in drama, and if that means not buying something that I like, you know what, I'll probably sacrifice and just not buy it. But this is honestly more just me being selfish, and I hate to admit that, but a lot of the time it's like I gotta do what's best for myself too, you know. And even though I really want something, I'm not going to buy it, because if I'm going to get a lot of hate for buying something, it's not worth it, you know. Like, who wants to go on their computer after reviewing something and then just get like 100 of hateful comments? Like, it's not fun, you know. Like, there's some brands like Jeffree Star that I have no problem buying from, because every video that I've ever made with Jeffree Star, I've gotten nothing but positive comments. I mean, for the most part, there's always like a troll here and there, but I never get anybody being like upset that I support Jeffree Star. Maybe because they're used to it on my channel by now, because I do buy a lot of Jeffree Star's products and I do think that he has really good products. So I don't know, I don't really think I have like a specific product that I'm lusting over that I'm not going to buy because of the brand. So I don't know. Question number 4, do you have any blocked words? Yes, I do, and I'm not going to tell you, but I definitely have some blocked words. It's not anything that has to do with me in particular, it's more just like racist words and things that just I feel like shouldn't be said in my comments anyway, and I like to just go through them to make sure that it's not something that I don't want other people to see, you know, it's mostly just to like protect people. And I also have some phrases that pertain to self-promotion in my blocked words, so that if someone is trying to promote their own channel, it will end up in my spam folder and then I have to go accept them, because I hate when people do that. I just think it's so rude. Like, don't come to my channel. I see my channel as my home. You don't come to my home and tell me about your channel. Like, you just don't do that. I don't know. I think that is really rude. And if you don't think that is rude, I'm sorry, but you're probably going to end up in my spam comments, because that's just how it is. Question number 5, do you delete comments? If so, why? I don't delete a lot of comments. I have deleted a few comments here and there, but it's mostly just if it's like really unnecessary and rude comments. And I also would definitely delete something if, let's see, I saw someone say something really bad about one of my friends on YouTube. I would delete that because I want to protect that person and I don't want them to come to my channel and read the comment section and then read shit about themselves. Like, that's just not okay in my book. So I try not to delete a lot of comments, but if it's something that's just really, really rude and it's just like,
you're ugly,
you know, yeah, maybe I will delete that. And also when you reply to comments, there's this option where you can kind of sort through comments, and one of the options are comments that you need to respond to or something like that. And if every time I try to sort my comments, I see that one comment that says you're ugly, like that gets really, really annoying if I have to scroll past that every time just because I haven't hearted it or I haven't commented on it. So it's just kind of easier for me to, you know, just delete those kind of comments because there's no place for that anyway. And I think it's so unnecessary, and it's just rude. It's just bringing down a mood and nobody needs to see that. Question number 6, do you block people? I don't think I've blocked anybody yet, but I feel like my community is very, very sweet for the most part. I don't really get a lot of haters. I don't get a lot of trolls. Thank God. I'm waiting for it though. I'm sure it's going to happen eventually. I mean, there's always going to be some people that just don't like you no matter what. And I just have to kind of live with that. But I still don't block them unless... I'm trying to think of like a situation where I would actually block people and not just hide them. Because hiding someone is like the best option that we have, because it means that no one is ever going to see their comment, but they still think that they are commenting and they're still interacting with my channel, which is what I want. So there's really no reason for me to ever block anybody. I really just don't think so. If I have the hide feature, I'm just going to hide them from my channel and just pretend like it never happened, you know? Question number 7. Have you ever lied about a product to stay on good terms with the brand? No. Oh man, sometimes I wish I did. Okay, I don't actually, but like I feel sometimes that maybe I'm a little bit too harsh in my reviews. I try to say things in a nice way, but sometimes there's just no going around it. Sometimes the product is just bad and you need to just say it's just bad, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I do wish sometimes that I did have a bit of a filter, but at the same time, I know you guys appreciate that I don't, so I'm never going to change that. I mean, just because I used to be a poker player and I used to have a good poker face doesn't mean I'm a good liar. So that's two very different things, and I'm like a terrible liar. I can't do it. Like I don't have it in me. So I guess that's probably a good trait, but you know, if you want to impress brands, it's probably not the best thing to do, but clearly I don't care that much if I hurt someone's feelings. Question number 8. Have you ever initially liked a product when you reviewed it and then changed your mind but didn't let your audience know? The only one that like kind of comes to mind is the Dubious Place of Freak palette. I remember when I made videos with that, even when I did my 3 looks with that, I really, really liked that palette. But then the more I kind of played with it, the more I realized that 2 of the shadows in the palette are just not really that good. But those weren't shadows that I used that much in my review portion. So I've definitely mentioned that many times though, that I just don't really like that palette anymore. But for like the first month or so after that video was up, I definitely still thought that I liked that palette, and I mean, I didn't mean anything bad by it. It's just, I feel like stuff like that happens, you know? Sometimes you just don't try something out for like a long enough period of time to really know how you feel. And honestly, that's just impossible to do if you are a YouTuber and you review a lot of products. Like, you're just never going to spend that much time on every single product that you try out, because there's just not enough time in a day. I don't have enough eyes on my face. I wish I did. I just can't do my makeup more often than I do right now, and if I want to be able to review everything, sometimes it's going to be a little bit not rushed, but also not like the most thorough reviews, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's okay. Like, we can't all take 2 weeks to review an eyeshadow palette, because I want to review more palettes than that, you know? I don't want to just get one palette every 2 weeks. That's just not how I do it. So I feel like I can get a pretty good understanding of a palette if I use it like 4 times or so. That's usually when I do end up doing my reviews. Some palettes I even do 10 to 14 looks with, but it really just depends. And I'm not going to say that something is a review unless I feel pretty confident in my opinions. And back when I did my review on the Juvia's Place palette, it was like my second ever review, I think, of anything. So I don't know, maybe I just was a little bit shy back then and I didn't really want to say anything bad, but I also didn't think that the palette was bad, but maybe I was a little bit nicer than I should have been. I don't really know. It's been a while and I've definitely learned a lot since then, and I also feel like my eyeshadow techniques and stuff have gotten a lot better, and I've just tried out so many more different formulas that now I feel like I have a better idea of how something is going to perform and work like the first time I try it even. And sometimes even just by swatching shadows and stuff, I can tell that certain formulas are maybe going to be a little bit iffy and hard to work with and might require different techniques. And that also means that it doesn't take as long for me to review a palette now than it did, you know, when I first started, because I didn't know as much about eyeshadows back then as I do now. So I don't know, just something to keep in mind, that the more reviews people have under their belt, the better they're going to be at reviewing something. Like, say for me, I'm not very good at reviewing foundations, which is why I never review foundations. I also just don't really find them that interesting. So it's just not the kind of videos that I like to do, and I like to be confident in the reviews that I give you guys, and I try to, you know, use something enough that I have a good idea of how something is going to perform. But of course, sometimes you are going to change your mind, and that just happens. And so I will of course update in, you know, a future video and stuff like that. And I feel like that's okay, because, you know, we all change our opinions and we all change our makeup techniques and stuff from time to time, and it's just how it goes. Question number 9, influencer you don't trust. I feel like back when this tag was going around, I would have had a lot more answers to this question, but the thing is that I have cleaned up my subscription feed so much since then that everybody that I do watch now are people that I really, really trust. And so I can't really tell you anybody that I don't trust anymore, because I don't watch people that I don't trust, because I don't see the point in that. So I don't really think I have any names that I can think of on top of my head that I don't trust. But there's a reason why most of the people I watch are people that are very small or smaller influencers. I don't think I really watch many people that are above like 200,000 subscribers, except for like Jeffree Star and Tati, but like I trust both of those to an extent, you know. But I also feel like you shouldn't blindly just trust anybody. I feel like it's up to us as consumers as well to do more research than just watch one YouTube video from one person. Like, if there is something that I really like let's say it's a foundation that I don't plan on reviewing and I want to actually see reviews on the foundation, I'm not going to just watch one person's review, because that's just not going to be enough. Even if one person is absolutely loving that foundation, it doesn't mean that the next person is going to like it too. And sometimes different skin types and stuff plays a big part, and I feel like it's up to us to, you know, do the proper amount of research and not just blindly trust anybody who says that something is a good product. Question number 10, influencer you trust the most. This is so hard because there's so many influencers that I really, really trust. And like, I kind of going back to the previous question, I feel like there's a lot of products that I trust from certain people because they have the same kind of skin type as me, they have the same preferences as me. Some people like eyeshadow formulas that I don't like, and so that doesn't mean I don't trust them, it just means that if I see them like an eyeshadow palette, it probably means that I'm not going to like it. So it's more just about knowing like what people like and then knowing if what they like is going to suit you. But like, I trust everybody that I watch to give truthful, you know, reviews and opinions about the products, but that doesn't mean that just because they like something, I'm going to like it. Question number 11, secret tips or product application you don't show while on camera. I don't know if I have anything for that one. I feel like you guys have seen me do my makeup. Yeah, I might not do my base that often, but I don't really do anything in particular. I feel like that you guys never see. I would say sometimes in the summer, if it's really hot, I will use my Morphe setting spray, like kind of as my primer. I don't really use primer, but I will spray some of this on my face before I go in with foundation, and I find that my foundation lasts a lot longer on like really hot and sweaty days than if I don't do this, and then I will also finish with a setting spray. I don't think there's really anything else that I do that you guys don't know or that I haven't really talked about. I'm gonna have to come back to that one and see if I remember anything else, but I don't think I do anything that you guys don't know that I do. Question number 12. Have you ever showed one product but were actually using another? No. But I will say sometimes in my description box when I'm writing down like the products that I use, sometimes I don't always remember which eyeliner that I use, because sometimes I go back and forth between my Too Faced Better Than Sex eyeliner and my DHC Cosmetics liquid liner, and sometimes I just don't remember, so I just write down one of them to have something to write down. But like, it's a black eyeliner. I like them both. It's not a big deal. But other than that, I don't really think that I've ever said I use something and then use something else. I mean, I don't know how that would happen. Like, how does that even happen? I don't understand. So no, I would never do that. Question number 13. Have you ever not disclosed a sponsorship? I've never had a sponsorship, but if I do, you'll be the first to know. Question number 14. Have you ever had a bad interaction with a brand? Yes, I have, and I talked about that. I didn't have the best experience with Blush Tribe. Yeah, I did mention that. I'll link the video up there where I kind of explained what happened, but basically I felt like I got attacked when I was a very small YouTuber. I had, what did I have, 100 subscribers maybe, and I made a video about one of their eyeshadow palettes saying that I just didn't think one of the shadows in it was that good, and then the owner of Blush Tribe commented on my video basically telling me that I needed to use better brushes and that no one else had complained about the formula. And I was just like, okay then, thank you for letting me know that I suck at makeup and that I shouldn't be doing YouTube and that you don't like me. That's great, thank you so much for that. That was also one of like the first indie brands that I had ever tried, and it did really make me scared to like review other indie brands on my channel, having just started out, and then you get feedback like that from a small brand that, you know, you wanted to support, and I don't know, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. But I don't think I've really ever had like a bad interaction with a brand other than that. I honestly feel like most brand owners are super sweet, and I've been super lucky to be pretty close to like, I talk to a lot of the people that are behind the brands because I support the brands and I like the brands, and sometimes it ends up having, direct message conversations on Instagram and just kind of getting to know them, and so many of them are just like the super sweetest people that you will ever meet. And I'm so glad that I'm not as shy online as I am in real life, because starting conversations in real life with strangers, I'm not the best at that, but I'm pretty good at sliding into people's DMs, so there's always that. Question number 15. Have you ever bandwagoned with other people's thoughts on a particular product? I don't think so, because I feel like a lot of the time I kind of like to go against the grain. Like, I find it kind of funny if I don't like something that other people do like. But I can see, this is why I don't watch reviews on stuff that I plan on reviewing myself, because it is easy to kind of skew your own thoughts on a product if you haven't tried it out enough, and then you see a lot of other people reviewing it, and like they give it like a raving review, and then in the back of your head you're like, maybe I'm supposed to really like this product too, and then you use the product and like the product is okay, but then maybe you say that the product is a little bit better than what you actually think because of the thoughts that you already have in your mind. I feel like that's probably happened to me a couple of times, but that's why I've stopped watching reviews of things that I plan on reviewing myself, because I don't want other people's opinions in my head about the product before I've had a chance to try it. So I try to be really good at not watching other people's videos, even if it's like all my friends are posting about the same things and I'm sitting there like, oh my god, I just want to watch. But I try to be really good at that because I want to go into it with an open mind. So yeah, I don't think that I really had my mind really get skewed in one way or another because of watching other reviews, but I don't really know. It's hard to say. Like, sometimes thoughts just like slip into your head and you can't even really control it, and sometimes maybe you do end up liking something more than you probably would have if you didn't already know people who like the products. Question number 16, this is the last one, and it's things other creators do that get on your nerves. I saw so many people saying like not disclosing and stuff like that, and to an extent I totally agree with that. Like, of course you're supposed to disclose, but I also just don't think that I've ever seen anybody not disclose, because I don't watch a lot of bigger YouTubers who get sponsorships, so I can't really like relate to knowing that someone is sponsored by something and then not disclosing. Like, I just never see that happening because those aren't the kind of people that I watch. So for me, I'm just not really familiar with that whole thing, because everybody that I do watch are pretty straight up, and those are the kind of people that I like to watch. So I don't really know if there's anything that other creators do that drive me crazy in one way or another. Let me think about this. Oh, there is one thing that really does annoy me. You know how some people have like Patreon, and then they have like, I don't know what it's called, but there's this site that you can kind of sign up for and become like part of their family, and then they'll do separate content for you and stuff. When people start promoting like their other shit on their channel, it gets really annoying really fast, and it makes me want to click out of videos. And then especially when people go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about what's happening like on this other platform, it drives me crazy. There's one channel in particular, I don't want to mention her name, but I used to really like her videos, but now this is all she can talk about is like all the other things that she's doing on the side with her other people who have joined this community and who are like paying her money to basically hang out with her in private. And I'm like, can you stop talking about this and like actually focus on your video and on your channel? And also just promoting other platforms and like your merch and like your this and your that and your company and like whatever else you have going on. If you drag it out for too long, I'm probably going to leave. I don't want you to push 4 different products in my face and say that they're linked in the description box, because I'm probably not going to check them out. And I think that's basically it. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money on YouTube, in my opinion. I am all for trying to like sell something, but don't overdo it. If you want to promote one thing in your video, fine, go ahead. Like, I can sit through that. That's totally fair. I totally get it. But if you have 4 different things, first of all, you have an ebook coming out, and then you also have this online course that's, you know, available to be signed up for, and then you also have like this other thing, you sign up for your email list, and then you also have like this thing on Thursdays where you can come hang out with me on Patreon or whatever the deal is. Like, I don't want to listen to it. Like, it's too much. It's too much, you know? Maybe just like tone it down a little bit. Focus on one thing at a time, because otherwise it gets really annoying. But other than that, I think that I'm pretty open to most of the things that the creators do, because I feel like I see where they're coming from. I feel like at this point I get why a lot of people do what they do and why they say what they do. And it's just one of those things that if you are a creator, I feel like you understand it more than if you're just a viewer. And as a viewer, sometimes things get a bit repetitive and a bit annoying. But when you are a creator and you've kind of gotten to know a lot of things that are happening, like with the algorithm and your analytics to your own videos, and there are certain things that kind of needs to be said sometimes that will help out your videos, and certain ways to like structure your videos for just people sticking around longer in your videos and stuff. Like, I get a lot of that stuff, you know? So I feel like I'm more forgiving towards other content creators now than I used to be when I first started out, because I understand why they say the things that they do. So I think I'm just not that judgmental in general. I don't know, like, I have my opinions, but I'm also a very open-minded person, and I'm totally okay with like not sharing opinions with other people, which I know some people struggle with, but I'd like to think that I'm pretty open, and I see both sides of the story a lot. So I think those are going to be the answers to this tag. If you are a creator and you have not already done this tag, I would love it if you do, if you feel like you're, you know, qualified to do this tag. I did not feel qualified for a long time, so I get it if you're not. This was fun. I'm glad I'm able to kind of bring this tag back from the dead, because I want to see this tag kind of start going around again, because this tag is so much fun, and it's a good way to get to know how people feel about the behind the scenes stuff of YouTube, I feel like. So yeah, if you want to see some more tag videos that I've done, I will pop some up on the screen so you can go check those out. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.